Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the UKLC. We're getting ready to go into game number 2 between Enclave and Barrage. Jamada, talk to me stakes. What's going on?
Okay, so with M&M losing their game to Envision, it now means that if Barrage or Enclave take this win, they finish third, it's guaranteed. Depending on who loses, if Barrage lose, I believe they lose out on the head-to-head versus M&M, so M&M would then take 4th place. If Enclave lose, it would then turn into a tiebreaker scenario where they would have to obviously play out that tiebreaker. But I believe we have a different rule set for if there's a three-way tie, because Bulldog obviously have to play later on tonight. So if all 3 teams are tied at 6 and 7, and Alex is probably going to hit me over the head if I get this wrong, but I want to say it's Enclave that win out on the head-to-head versus everybody else, and they would be the ones taking 4th place.
I wasn't there for that conversation, so I actually can't remember what was said. And I think he did explain it to me, but again,
he's explained it to me multiple times, but I've still managed to forget.
It were the worst too. If Orcs was here, Orcs would be able to say, I know exactly what's going on, but he's not. It goes in one ear, and out the other. That's why we've got headphones on to keep it in.
Yeah, exactly. Orcs is a far harder working person than both of us.
He's just a nerd. It's not he's hard work, he's just a nerd. That's the problem with Orcs. All right, well, we're into picks and bans. As the Fresh gets taken away, expect to see a Gragas in this ban face, and the Azir, there he goes.
Yeah, so honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised. And I'll be curious to see if Barrage did, because I was alluding to it yesterday versus whoever was against Enclave. Azir, Gragas, plus the Hecarim bans, because these are all 3 champions that Enclave have literally been leaning on for weeks now, and they haven't been taken away from them, but Udyr remains a permanent kind of red side ban, it seems like. And to be fair, it is Into Cleanser who introduced Udyr to the UKLC, I believe, and
yeah, he did.
It was a very strong performance. So Barrage, I think, looking at either the Hecarim or the Gragas ban, I think you probably just ban away the Gragas if you're going to pick between the 2. But Seraphine's still up, so now again a situation where both of these 2 champions may be separated. Enclave, we saw yesterday actually had a priority on the Gragas, but with the Kai'Sa up, they've actually swapped up their draft priority here. They've gone into that first pick instead. Barrage have the opportunity to pick away either one of those picks or both if they feel like.
Yeah, I feel like they could just, well, first of all, deny the Alistair to say we don't get a Alistair Kai'Sa lane, get their hands on that Hecarim, and now over to Enclave. What do they want to put down there? We've seen a lot of Rel. Priority on Rel has kind of skyrocketed in the last few weeks. Probably expect this to be a Rel lane. And then they'll probably just look to pick up a jungler. We've seen the likes of the Graves getting picked into Hecarim as well. We have seen Talia's as well. Obviously today, already a bit of mixed success on that one.
Ooh.
And Glenn's actually going to pull out the Jarvan here.
Yeah, so this is a champion which has slowly kind of been sneaking into the meta again, especially with the sort of nerfed jungle state looming come 11.4. Jarvan sort of remains one of the best low economy junglers in the game. So with this kind of competition where you've got the Kai'Sa, you can always dive forward, you can lock the Hecarim into the Cataclysm once he's actually cast Onslaught of Shadows as well. As long as he doesn't have that E charged up, he can't escape it. So Jarvan coming through with that Kai'Sa makes up for a very strong dive composition, and of course the Rel to facilitate that even more. Very strong opening rotation for Enclave if they're very much on theme with that dive. Actually seeing the Victor come out very early, so foregoing their AD carry pick, Barrage Academy prioritizing the Victor that high is very strange when you see so much dive.
Yeah, very interesting pickup, actually. It does mean that I expect to see the AD carries get pretty heavily banned out here. That's actually a ban on Slikes, that Rumble. Is a pick even his mid, player. So what's expected on that one. But yeah, I feel like Enclave, they could just look to pinch away at this AD carry pool. They can go for things like the Aphelios, which people have been picking into the Kai'Sa, the Ezreal, obviously. Although, actually, that's a weird one, because Kai'Sa is kind of known to dumpster on Ezreal. So
yeah, but I think it's about removing the mobility options away from the dive that Enclave, I imagine, are just going to probably stay on theme with, and just taking away champions that can handle Jarvan relatively well. So that's why I called out the Zarya ban, and it appears Enclave also feel the same way about the champion. And Camille also removed away. It goes without saying, Camille very strong in this meta. Actually kind of shifting a bit towards the second ban phase of champions as opposed to first, at least over the last 2 days. As I have to see what KZ wants to lock in. Draven would be entertaining, but I'm not sure if KZ...
I think Draven would be a very sad pick for KZ looking at that comp.
Yeah, it wouldn't be great. I think Tristana's a very smart pickup here. There's a lot of CC which can be buffered out of by the rocket jump, so very much going to afford him some lane priority, some survivability from the dive, and I think Galio would sort of round out what Enclave are looking to do quite well if Sykes does pick this one up. It can't really be hard bullied by Victor too much, especially in the early stages before Victor has that E augment. Galio will be taking
such a nice comp for Galio. I can't believe I didn't think about that, actually.
And Enclave coming out here today with a, as low an execution threshold to meet as possible so far with this draft.
Enclave would. If they lock that in, Enclave would.
Hey, very strong. Very strong words. Now, we'll have to see if it is the case. Now, if Gnar gets locked in,
which it has
been, I want to know if Aragon's finally going to play a gap. Because again, I will refer back to it. It was removed for like 2 weeks away from him, and he never actually pulled it out. We asked him when we had him on the interview desk. I'm not sure if he was here, or I might have had Viper Room with me. And he said, it's been something that I can play, but teams just want to ban it away from me. This would be the kind of time to pull it out. But, Cho'Gath, that works fine. Again, a champion that really does thwart dives quite well. We saw it last game where Eminem, they had a pretty strong lack of engage, and Cho'Gath kind of just dismantled any opportunity that Eminem had of making engages work. This time around, Enclave, they actually have multiple strong forms of engage. The Cho'Gath's still going to work very well in that same vein.
Well, there we are. The picks and bans loaded in. I just love what Enclave have got put together here. I think they have a pretty low execution bar on this comp. There's just you throw everything, and Kai'Sa then comes in and mops up. If you do kill the Kai'Sa though, pretty early, like at the beginning, or a feast comes in or an interrupt on the dash from Impulse, and he gets isolated from the team. My concern is you don't really have as much sustained DPS. Like, sure, Gnar does do a lot of damage and is slightly unbalanced at the moment, but he's not really your sustained DPS. He's not really your mop. He's going to come in and tidy up this fight after it's done, or after the engage comes in. So that's the one critical weakness I see with the Enclave comp, is the fact that they don't actually have more than one damage option, where if Thomas Go dies or KZ dies, the other one can kind of tidy up. You've got the Hecarim that's going to be capable of putting out a fair amount of DPS on the side of Barrage. And like I said, they have good anti-dive tools in this comp as well to deny Enclave.
Yeah, they do. I do worry a little bit for Victor. Whilst I said it's strange to pick Victor into a diving composition, Victor loves champions coming into him, so I should sort of correct myself on that front. But when you're looking at what is likely to be such a heavy dive composition, that's where things can start to get a little bit scary until you pick up things like the Zhonya's Hourglass, or this game I don't think a Banshee's Veil would have much value until what they specifically are running. But if you don't have that Zhonya's, you don't have Flash, you're just an easy walking target to be dropped. And like we said, Enclave, there's not much to it with this composition. Flag and drag, press the R key if you're cleanser. The rest of the follow-up is about as easy as putting bread in a toaster. So it's definitely a bit scary for Barrage to pilot, but they've got the correct kind of tools to deal with so many diving threats.
Yes, they definitely do. I think it's definitely an execution thing, because if Barrage do miss execute and don't successfully peel Enclave off them, they are going to stick to them, and that's where the fights are going to get really, really nasty. I think it's going to be a scrappy game. I think this is going to be a bloody game, and I'm really excited to see how this goes down. But ultimately, I am loving what Enclave have put together. And I also want to highlight, they are rocking the Skinergy right now, all rocking those blue skins. So really nice stuff.
I mean,
the Sorex has completely ruined it with a Chroma, but everyone else was on the same page.
I feel like maybe the rail skin doesn't have. No, it's got like a close.
That's the base skin is blue.
Oh, it is.
Everyone can see what we're talking about now. Yeah, that's the base skin is like a silvery blue.
All right, we're gonna need a remake on this game. I don't know if Enclave can win anymore. Yeah, Sorex may have just thrown Enclave's playoff chances. No, I'm kidding.
Similarly, the team's colors blue as well. That's some
it's dedication.
Next level play.
Yeah, both teams actually branding for them is blue. Well, I guess Rel's hair is like a light green blue tinge.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Sorry, this is actually going to really annoy me. Like, genuinely going to really wear at me every time I see Sorex.
Jake, I feel like if there's any game we should take seriously, it might be this one.
Yeah, I think so too. But goddamn it, Sorex, what the hell were you doing?
Sorex, you had one job. Okay, right, serious face on. Very important game for both of these teams here, both vying out for the playoffs position. Of course, with Eminem losing, it really does put either one of these teams in a position to just outright secure third place. So a win here is exactly that. You want to avoid the playoff scenario. If Barrage lose, then it turns into a situation where they will lose the head-to-head against Eminem for 4th place. And then, of course, it all depends on that Bulldog game later on today, too. If a Bulldog win or lose also has impact on Even and Vision. As it seems like junglers both starting on the top side of the map, so going to be ending up towards their bottom lane. As Barrage actually paying a fair amount of respect to the level 1 of Kai'Sa and Rel.
Kind of the expected when it is the Alistair champion. Really struggles at level 1, funnily enough.
Yeah, not known for his level 1 play, Alistair.
But he's trying to threaten. Impulse not going to give him the opportunity. And yeah, obviously the stakes are incredibly high for this game. Stakes are very high for today, especially after that win at the beginning for Envision. Really upset the apple cart, because if Eminem won that game, this game suddenly became... It's still important, but the last 2 games of the day would have been irrelevant.
Well, not entirely irrelevant.
Not entirely, but not to the levels
for Bulldog,
we got now.
Like for Bulldog and... I mean, depending on how things... No, yeah, it would have actually been nearly irrelevant. You're right.
Yeah, it's Demise versus Resolve would have meant something for Demise still.
Yes.
But that literally would have been as far as it goes.
But then again, Demise probably going to be paying tax, because I don't think Resolve want to give up a 14-0 record. Though it would have been fun to see them upset. Well, I'm speaking in past tense if it's already happened. That's how certain I am. You know what? Let's hope for a Demise. Anyway, I think we focus on this game. Cleanse actually skipped out on his Wolf Camp, so he's already on the bottom side. Whereas King going for a close to full clear is trading amongst the top laners here. Cleanser, I believe, knows King is on the Gromp. Looking for a potential invade, but Barrage will have first move, but he's got Sykes in his back pocket.
There's the flag, there's the drag. King actually got the heal off, and now they've got the smite to keep him alive. The stun comes in. Here comes the taunt over the wall. Cleanser jumping away. Mel's health bars are low, and Enclave secure themselves a double kill onto Sorex.
Yes, unfortunately the kills go over to Sorex, but the damage is the important thing there. King dropping as well as KDO. It means now that likely Cleanser's going to secure a double Scuttle Crab for himself. Now, it's not necessarily the end of the... it should actually die. It's not the end of the world for King, because he did a full linear path thing. So if he wants to, he can just return to his Krugs anyway. But it looks like he's going to try and fight out for this top Scuttle. But he doesn't have lane prior on this side of the map, so he's kind of wasting his time anyway. The Vision Plant spotted out the Gromp. Fortunately for King, he actually secures the Smite. And the Headbutt Pulverize combo is nice, but still has Flash to get back out. As in the play-by-play, Sykes is
dead.
Sykes is dead. Yeah.
So while everything was going on, there was lane priority achieved in mid, and they were getting crab, and then Sykes decided to aggress into Thomas Go.
Yeah, very weird decision-making there.
Very questionable.
Some may say disrespectful. Anyway, we're getting a replay of it. Nice. As you see, it's just a great gank. Yeah, Sykes just stepping too far forward. Had just burned Flash on that bottom side play. He has no business being this far up the lane. He's in the correct pocket of the lane because he's obviously playing towards where Cleanser is, just in case he has to move over. But just a little bit too disrespectful. Wasn't expecting King to immediately path straight to mid lane. Potentially expecting him to just take up some jungle camps first. So in that sense, definitely nod your head to King. Just that instant retaliation, punishment onto the Galio. But for now, doesn't seem like it's going to have much an impact. Oh, Only Angel.
Only Angel getting caught out. He's used the hop. He has the Narbar summon up, but that's not going to be enough. Aragon gets the kill.
Yeah, really, really nice silence there by Aragon. It denies Only Angel the opportunity to make that Dyrus flash wall. It's one of the hardest flashes in the game to make, so he may have face planted anyway, but he was definitely in position to make it over. Unfortunately, doesn't do it, and Cleanser hasn't actually reset yet, but still going to take this opportunity to take up the Dragon. As King finding himself another gank. So the cost for the gank will be this Dragon. Enclave going to be pretty okay with that, in all honesty, because Only Angel shouldn't have really been in the position to die to that either way.
Yeah, but that's 2 kills now where Enclave members have been in a position they just shouldn't have been in.
Yeah, and I'll just say this. Only Angel's not on Gragas. Sykes isn't on Azir. All of a sudden, we're seeing very strict. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it's just very strange positioning from both the solo laners of Enclave. We'll have to see how Barrage will respond to that dragon being taken down and Enclave handing them these opportunities. Again,
I think one of the things to also hit on here, sorry to interrupt, is Impulse has got a massive lead over KZ. Like, he is 15 minions up right now. He's just been kind of quietly getting himself strong. And sure, there's been mistakes from Enclave's solo lanes. Cleanser, though, obviously that great invade onto King. Also farming himself up pretty well here. Jarvan is a champion who he doesn't really need to get fed, but he's now got that level 6 mark, so he's got that Cataclysm, and this is where I want to see the action. This is why I want to see the Cataclysm into the heroic entrance, or I call it the heroic Cataclysm.
Yeah. Or do you remember when Gnar came out in Season 5? And what they called Jarvan and Gnar?
Narvin. Oh my god, we have a Narvin. It's been so long.
Yeah, there you go.
We have the Death Bowl, the Mixing Bowls, Orianna, and Galio. No, sorry, Orianna and Jarvan.
Yeah, I feel like may have unlocked a memory for longer playing League players or longer term League players with the Narvin.
The Narvin was so strong for so long.
It's because back then there was not really a lot of mobility in the game. It was still sort of right before most of the meta champions had some form of a dash, so Narvin became very, very oppressive.
Yeah, now everyone has 8 of them.
Yeah, now everyone has a Gale Force and a Flash and 3 different kinds of dashes.
Oh, they gave it an item. Like, oh god.
All right, let's
focus
on it. Cleanser actually getting the Herald here for pretty much free. King
on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, he's not actually in a position to take away the red buff or those Krugs, and there's enough defensive vision down for Enclave to actually respond to those jungle camps being taken if they wanted to stop that from happening. So nice pickup from Cleanser. Barrage not really able to respond to some of these neutrals. Obviously, finding the gank in the top side was the initial play for Enclave to then respond with that dragon. But Sykes is just here.
They got the taunt. They have got the feast. Only Angel has to flash away, but that's the Justice Punch. And Sykes on the last Colossal Smash. Down goes the big cockroach.
That was a very speedy Gargoyle on his way to the top side there. Predator boots. Predator.
Has he got Mobies?
No,
they're Lucidity.
Those are Lucidity boots.
Okay.
Do Lucid still give item haste? They do, right? That's why they're...
Yeah. So you get 20 ability haste, 10 item haste, I think.
Yeah. They dropped the summoner spell haste, I believe. No, Lucid still have the summoner spell. There's Cosmic Insight that dropped summoner spell haste, I think. Anyway, Enclave.
I think so. I can't remember, actually. That's really bad. Cleanser getting his third crap of the game.
Yeah. Definitely. Third or fourth. He's had quite a few. So much lane priority coming out from all across the board here. As Barrage kind of have to just sit and take it. There's not really much they can do. Mid lane, even once Thomas Go has the laser augmented, Galio can probably still force priority and trade out a little bit of his health bar for it. As you can see,
he's looking for it. And Angel's coming in. They've got that jump. Here it comes. Aragon slowed down. Going to get knocked up on the tail end. They've got the taunt. They've got the knockups. They've got the wallop. And only Angel, he's got the kill.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Aragon's not even necessarily laning too high up either, as Thomas Go is going to find himself jumped onto, and Impulse is here.
Yeah, this might just be a bit of a freebie. The slam comes down from Cleanser. He is in the Chaos Storm, but he's going to get the base off in time, and easy as.
Yeah, and honestly, the kind of issue you can run into as well with a team composition or 2 team compositions that effectively at the end of the day want a team fight, but slightly function differently, is that if one team comp has an overbearing gold lead, it doesn't matter if your team composition in a way can counter out the other. Enclave start the ball rolling and keep it rolling like they are right now. Barrage is certainly going to struggle when they've got the Hecarim, who isn't necessarily geared towards kiting back. A reminder, they do have quite potent composition at dealing with what Enclave are running, but it can definitely be a bit scary as we saw the replays there. Top gank. Aragon punished for kind of existing there. As Thomas Go face checking somewhere he really shouldn't be.
Got the Rift Herald out as well in the mid lane so he can get himself from plates, and this will be the second dragon for Enclave now.
Yeah, second dragon very early on. Looking at potentially a 22, 23 minute soul. It's going to be Cloud as well, and that's honestly, you know, you can make an argument for Infernal Soul, but I would probably actually take Cloud in this game.
If I was Enclave, I would love a Cloud, especially for Sykes. He wants to be able to cast ult as much as possible. Impulse, Kai'Sa uses Cloud Soul so well. Jumps in, gets a massive amount of speed to reposition and just nuke you down with it. Honestly, there's a few comps that I think just favor Cloud Soul over anything, and this is definitely one of those comps. They are very ult reliant. And like we were saying, one of the strengths that Barrage's comp has is they're actually very anti-dive, but when everyone can run at you even faster while diving at you, it becomes a little bit harder to execute that anti-dive.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the only soul which could potentially be a little more oppressive for Barrage would have been actually Ocean. When you've got effectively a 4 frontline team with an Ocean soul. Feels pretty bad trying to take them down. That's Impulse is going to find the interrupt.
That's very sad. Yeah. That's actually very sad.
That was... Oh, he is on a ward. Okay. I was kind of like, did he do that blind? But he is indeed on vision. And Enclave kind of just maintain priority over the mid-rift of the map. Barrage kind of just being contained to their side. Even in the lanes, as Sykes pretty much has complete freedom of movement to go wherever he pleases right now.
Is it happening again? It's not going to happen again.
It's not going to happen this time. Oh, it depends. Enclave have to worry about the mid lane wave now. It looks like they're going to go and return to that for the now.
Remember, Sykes can do it very quickly. He's rocking the rocket belt.
Yeah.
Standard stuff, really, for these Gallios. But obviously got that, got the Lucy boots and Predator, so can move out of this lane incredibly fast. So Barrage always have to keep in mind that Gallio will leave mid in a flash.
Yes, yes he will. And level 2 ultimate available as well. I believe Gallio ultimate increases in range per level.
I believe it does, and I should know that because I've pretty much exclusively played Gallio this split.
Unironically, I'm also a bit of a Gallio player in my spare time, so I should know that as well. So.
Man,
pretty sure it does.
Old Gallio player.
90% sure it does. Oh yeah, I remember.
I actually had the season before they reworked him. I had like a 79 or an 80% win rate on Gallio.
See,
I used to love him.
Gallio back then was broken because again, so many champions just didn't have dashes.
Exactly. Although his big counter was Xin Zhao or Braum. I had to ban Braum every game.
Braum? What's wrong with Braum?
Because if you flash ulted a team, you taunt them, Braum puts the passive on, your ult ends instantly. As that's one dead horsey. Maximum's going to keep him in place.
No.
Cleanser gets the kill.
I feel like that wasn't a perfect CC chain. Maybe my eyes are just bad and I need to go to the opticians, but I feel like King could have ulted out. Maybe he wasn't expecting that much burst damage immediately. But saying that, I'm sure he would have been spamming the R key somewhere. So perhaps it was just perfect CC chain, as that pick is going to signify a pretty free Rift Herald pickup for Enclave. And honestly, so far, playing the map pretty cleanly.
They are going to lose this tower bot side though. This is first tower blood to Barrage in response.
Which is definitely a nice consolation prize. Especially it going into KZ's back pocket. It was falling quite far behind in CS. Or still is far behind in CS, but the gold injection is the important thing of note. And I think you're okay with losing a bottom tier 1 tower if it means you have the Herald. And look at how low. How is the mid tier 1 that low?
They heralded it.
Oh yeah, they heralded it the first time. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they got the plates. Although they probably will just use it mid again to try and take that tower down. And keep the Victor.
Exactly.
Well, take the Victor's safety away from him.
Yeah, and Victor, one of the couple of champions in the game which will pretty much warp entire game stage just by living. The fact that you can clear waves kind of like this, except a full wave will die pretty cleanly, exactly like that. The mid tier 1 holds so much value, so Cleanser, Enclave, gonna have that Herald for this next dragon, which they're likely just gonna move numbers into right now and drop the Herald, but they're actually very slow on their reset. So only Angel might be forced to teleport down potentially unless he wants to walk the distance. You can see Barrage forcing numbers in the mid lane to gain priority.
So it looked like he was holding it, figuring out whether or not he wanted to. But yeah, like you said, Barrage are now in position to take this area. They have the wards down and we're going to catch him out. Thomas will eat the Void Seeker. And now Barrage have been forced out of their safety net. And Enclave may just give this Cloud Strike up for mid.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually a completely fine trade for them here. They're going to get the Herald charge.
They're going to get mid tier too, probably.
I mean, they have the inside track. They could even get a third charge out. No, they're not. Okay, don't worry. He died.
Yeah, I mean,
great trade.
It's just stronger trading tools for Enclave. Barrage didn't really have anything in response. They had to commit numbers to that dragon to stop the soul from coming down. And Enclave just kind of handshake it. They say, all right, we're happy with that. 2 towers for a Cloud Dragon. I think you are 9 times out of 10 taking that trade. And it's even going to be a delayed 3rd tower take, technically. Unless Barrage can respond in kind. I don't feel like Enclave actually have the numbers here to make this aggressive shove. So not going to quite take down that 3rd tower, but either way, pretty big win on the map for Enclave. Going to be able to catch the wave so high up and then move to either side. Pretty much, Legion. When you've got a Galio, when you've got a Kai'Sa, so much sort of global, immediate global response, it just gets so scary for Barrage.
And Impulse on that base actually just bought a Last Whisper, so didn't even go for the Collector, which is the typical build here. This is, there's tanks. I'm going to kill the front line. Obviously, it doesn't give him quite as much assassination on the likes of Thomas Go and KZ, but it does give obviously that great kind of fighting in the tanks. You've got the Kraken Slayer, you've got your passive. This is a really, really nasty setup.
Yeah, under different circumstances, you could maybe sort of see this as a bit of a weird itemization choice, but he is the only sort of consistent damage dealer. And if he feels like he's not always going to be diving onto the backline with Enclave, he can just sort of go this build where he's looking to shred the front line first, and then he's happy to dive in, relying on more base damages than, you know, sort of raw damage from having the sort of closer to traditional Kai'Sa build. You have a little more front, you're a little more front-loaded in crit. My only issue is, how long is it going to delay this invisibility, the supercharger upgrade? Thomas Go is probably going to have to flash.
Yeah, he's going to have to flash. They're forced to teleport out as actually the Magnet Storm's been used.
Oh, Enclave.
Staying on the back line. Here comes the ulti from the Galio. Sykes is looking for the taunt, collects it onto 2, and King's now being chased away. The knockup's there. Impulse pumping that damage out as here comes KZ looking for Cleanser, looking for Impulse. They've got the turnaround. Impulse has to flash away. Cleanser doing a lot, but not enough. And the shutdown was given to KDO. Worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario. Very unfortunate. I didn't quite catch how big that shutdown was. I'm sure you did. No, you
we got a replay, so we'll see.
We got a replay, so we'll see. So Thomas Go catching this wave up pretty high. He feels like he's got the numbers here. Not expecting Enclave necessarily to sort of go onto him in the fashion that they do, but the response from Enclave is very instant. King isn't quite able to find lethal onto Cleanser on the top side. Aragorn doing his best to survive. A lot of sustain coming through. King eventually drops to Impulse, and KZ actually blunders here almost 2 times the control ward in an attempt to take down Cleanser. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but not quite able to take down Impulse. But the fact that he targets him first means that Impulse had to actually flash over the wall. Didn't have Killer Instinct, I believe, or an angle for Killer Instinct to make it back over the wall.
Zeal now finished up for Impulse, so
should have the supercharger upgrade.
I think that's enough for the supercharge upgrade now. I think it'll be very, very close. No,
I mean, if he levels up, then I think the base attack speed should be enough. That looks real damn close. We'll see. He's got a minute, ideally, to have the supercharger upgraded. Of course, 1 minute away from this Cloud Dragon. Has not the worst fight for Barrage in the top side, but as we highlight, did you catch how much the shutdown was for?
I didn't. We said we'd look.
We're so terrible at our jobs, by the way. Either way, KDO got it. It didn't go into KZ or Thomas Go, so it's just not the ideal scenario.
Just as a quick update, Impulse leveled up, didn't get the evolve on the E, so
okay.
Needs another dagger.
Yeah.
Although that is obviously part of the Lord Dom build. So gonna be a little while until that comes in. But this Cloud Dragon up. Yeah, probably have the gold to buy the Lord Doms, and I think that might, if Impulse wants to get it, he has to get it now. But I think he's just going to secure the crab with the team.
Yeah, like crab, one more wave, do the dragon. You look for a reset. Barrage aren't really in an advantageous position to actually trade anywhere on the map. You can see the lanes not really shoved out past the halfway point anywhere. They're either neutral or, as you can see in the mid lane, shoved out. Enclave going to be taking this one pretty much for free. A lot of pings coming down onto this Baron. Barrage potentially thinking about it, but just not in the position. Soric. Okay, well, I guess that's that.
Able to leap the wall to safety. There's the dragon. And reset should be coming in at some point soon. Slikes has got that Blighting Jewel, had it for a little while, so actually did go for a Fiendish Codex second, so just wanted the flat magic pen from the Blighting Jewel. Obviously not having the Sork boots or anything means it did want to get an additional little bit of penetration. Is building towards that Zhonya's on the Galio.
Item for the Galio when you're diving forward.
I think Galio builds and Mythic plus Zhonya's.
Yeah, after
that's like the two core items. That's what I found. I like. It's nice to get a Oblivion Orb if you got a team that has healing as well. Like that 2.5 items is like the perfect sweet spot. Yep. Although I'm an advocate for Night Harvest Galio.
All right, enough of that.
You get ability haste on your Mythic passive. You get crazy damage. It's all good.
All right. Well, Barrage currently sitting almost 5k down. Really not the position they want to be in, especially again to reiterate the stakes. Enclave win, they hop to 3rd place. Barrage losing means they lose out on the head-to-head to M&M. And assuming Bulldog don't win their game later on, M&M will automatically take that 4th spot. Barrage will miss out on the opportunity to participate in the playoffs.
Uh-oh.
Oh, King.
Oh, no, it's actually Thomas. He's getting jumped onto. There's the Death Bowl. Stopwatch gets used. The interrupts are there. They pull them in with a Magnet Storm, and KDX comes in. A 3-man headbutt pole, though, is pretty big, and Barrage actually starting to put a bit of damage in. Impulse can join this fight. And it was Enclave engaging, but they didn't have Impulse with them, and Impulse not willing to jump into that underneath the tower. Means
that Barrage
they're helping enough to do Baron here.
Yeah, honestly, they could. And Barrage didn't have Aragon. Imagine Aragon's there to follow up with a Rupture on that 3-man knockup from KDO. It would have been a complete whitewash for Enclave. They would have lost out on everybody, more than likely. So this is what I was talking about. The composition from Barrage, so good at dealing with dive. Especially now that Thomas Go, yes, he's blown that stopwatch, but he's likely going to be not too far out from completing a full Zhonya's the next sort of 3 or 4 minutes. Ideally for him, finishing it before the Cloud Dragon would be ideal, but specking into that Blighting Jewel might mean he could have delayed it a little too long. We'll have to see the sort of next reset or two in the next few minutes as Enclave pushing out this mid wave. They've got still control of the map.
And Angel doesn't actually have that much armor. I just noticed from his build. He's got the force of nature.
Yeah, more for dealing with the damage coming out of Thomas Go. KZ will absolutely tear through him. Storm Raise complete as well now, so 2 full items, and also Impulse, AD carry counterpart, finish up those 2 items. Should have the Supercharger. Thank you, Observer. I recognize you clicking on him to give us that information too. I always like that. Love interacting with us though. Yeah, I mean, Barrage, it's not the worst game state in the world. It could be far worse, given the start of the game. They've managed to stabilize in the sense of they've not really bled too hard. But I think this dragon fight coming up a little under 90 seconds away is going to be the big tell of how the rest of the game is likely to play out.
I think Impulse should go for the Lord Doms now before this fight, so we'll have that. Actually going in for the Infinity Edge build here, so actually forgoing the Collector entirely, at least for now.
wonder if the collector build is just out of flavor. Could be.
I understand why in the last game we had
oh yeah, absolutely.
Immortal. I think it does make sense. You've got King and Aragon, and they're both going to be really hard to cut down. I mean, look at Aragon's armor right now. I mean, can we get a quick look at his armor?
He's probably staying at like
226. He has 3,000 health. Obviously, got a bit of true damage from your passive and from the Kraken Slayer. So that plus the armor shred means the rest of your autos are going to be pretty nasty as well.
Yeah. Honestly, I wonder. No, Barrage definitely posturing as if they want to try and fight over this soul, or at the very least, they may actually look for a Baron after this wave. They might not actually care too much about Cloud Soul. So you can see they're actually dragging Enclave over to the Baron side as they're going to sweep away all of this vision.
Yeah, but Impulse can do the dragon. He's going to solo that. And he'll be over in a jiffy.
Without Impulse, Enclave don't really deal that much damage.
Yes, you're right.
It's mostly CC.
But once he's got that dragon, he is going to be so quick on the map. And it's Barrage. They went for this play, and they didn't actually do anything with it. They are starting Baron up now.
They're just so half-hearted about the call. Seems like Barrage members in two minds about it, and now Enclave have an inside track on mid. Oh, this is sneaky, but I think Enclave know.
Yeah, Only's in the area. He's about to gnar out as well. He's seen them all. Throws out the boomerang blade. There is an AD carry coming over. Remember, they have Cloud Soul. They are so fast. Only just gets a quick boulder toss off, and now Enclave they're not even willing to risk. They don't want to fight when they know that they have the inside tracks on these lanes.
It's just Barrage looking a little bit lost right now, and the response is just going to be mid lane push, and Enclave honestly kind of just outmaneuvering Barrage. That being said, it's definitely, you know, to fault Barrage there for that. It just didn't look like they could make a decision one way or the other. And the price is losing that mid inhibitor tower. I think Barrage definitely shaking a little bit. Definitely looking a little uncomfortable as Impulse could find himself cut off from the rest of his team, but he's got the response from double teleports. If necessary, is going to be quick enough. You can see how hard Barrage really wanted to make that pick happen.
They were thinking about it. They were really thinking about it, but they're not going to happen. It's not going to be on the cards for them right now.
Mid priority here though, so could look to turn back towards the Baron. A reminder, they have Cho'Gath for the feast, for the secure, but it's about whether they get dogpiled in the pit as they're trying to drag members of Enclave in, but
I think really that's the big thing for Barrage right now, is they know that if they get dogpiled, they are semi-doomed, and they're doing their best to avoid that at the moment, as only Angel actually gonna hop forward, but it's Cleanser who's chunked on that Jarvan, and inside the pit, it's terrifying. You get all of that CC layered into you, you're going down, and Barrage now, with the fact that they just chunked Cleanser out, think that they can do it, but remember, Cleanser's gonna be very, very quick. Only Angel's about to gnar out. He's got the backup of his team. He's about to gnar. This could be their opportunity. Once again, though, Enclave, they are playing it respectfully to the members of Barrage, even with their low health bars, even with the fact that they had all of the tools available to them, not willing to risk it.
Yeah.
Now they're zoning off the mid lane.
I mean, Barrage, you know, they look like they're kind of in desperation mode. And on the Enclave side, honestly, after say really strong map play and responses to the attempts by Barrage, but now Enclave are the ones finally starting up the Baron, as teleport being focused on by Aragon.
Yeah, Aragon has to flash away from everything. KZ gets a bit of damage into Sykes. Sykes actually pretty chunks from that as well. Magic Shield kind of a little bit deceptive about how much damage he just took. He lost half his health.
Yeah.
And now back to Baron. This is just the juggle here. There is a teleport available. Only Angel has to flash away. It's about to gnar out. They're going to teleport the Galio in for the flank. This is the time for the fight. No flash on Aragon. They've got the taunt onto that backline. King is caught out. The dog pile is in there. The only CC one for the moment as KZ jumps in forward. The knockoffs onto Impulse. Impulse flashes over the wall. Here comes the Galio, trying to knock out the members as KZ gets jumped onto, exhausted by Impulse in the tail of the fight. Jumped away. KZ finds the shutdown, finds himself the kill, but the taunt connects from Sykes. Only Angel will continue the chase for the moment, and Barrage get themselves caught out by everyone. Cleanser running Thomas go down. Aragon's putting the damage into Only Angel, but Sykes is CCing him for as long as possible. The stopwatch keeps him alive, and now the taunt's there. Sykes is stunned, going down. It's a double kill for Only Angel. It's the ace for Enclave. What a beautiful fight.
What a beautiful fight indeed. And with that, they're going to be able to secure this Baron almost certainly. And Barrage, unfortunately, not able to survive the just overbearing weight of the dive. It was honestly kind of separated at the beginning of it all. It wasn't like they was knocking down multiple members of the CC, but it's about which targets were being focused and when. That was the key deciding factor here for Enclave winning out on this fight. Even though Enclave lost Impulse, didn't really matter. They managed to collect the health bars of Thomasco and KZ low enough to the point where they couldn't deal meaningful damage. We'll get the replay started here as, again, it's Barrage. They're starting off on the Baron. It's advantageous positioning, but this is where they kind of split up. KDO and King, they path down into the waiting arms of Galio, and that's when things start to get kind of messy. KDO isn't even able to move through the Unbreakable Will. The Cataclysm comes down onto KZ and Thomasco. Thomasco stopwatches through most of the CC and flashes out, and on the bottom side, it turns into a 1v1 between the AD carries, but the exhaust timing is better from KZ, and on the top side, Cleanser runs down Thomasco. KZ isn't able to survive the Gusts of War, drops 2 Sykes, and at this point, it's like, okay, it's effectively 3 tanks versus 2. Who's actually going to win out? Unfortunately, Aragon doesn't have the lethal damage from that feast onto Sykes, and if he did, it could have been an entirely different 2v2, but Cleanser was always going to make it in time, irregardless. Very messy stuff, but it's Enclave who end up with the Baron buff, and they're going to have that Baron buff eclipse the Elder spawn time. So, Barrage, they're going to be forced into another engage, most likely, because Enclave are going to have priority, and that is unfavorable fight conditions for Barrage. They never want to be walking into Enclave.
The big thing there was KZ. He has built damage effectively. When Impulse, obviously, Mortal Reminder does, well, Lord Doms is actually a damage item. It doesn't really do it's not as effective as the Infinity Edge Stormrazor combination that KZ had for that fight. And I think that's why KZ was able to get so much burst out onto Impulse. But now, tables are shifted because Impulse has his Infinity Edge. Only Angel may just look to not do this Elder. They know it's going on, but this is going to go down extremely quick.
Barrage
they have that feast.
Yeah.
This might just be it
they
going
burst
up.
It
Cleanser bopped out of the pit, trying to get the flag and drag, trying to get the close in, is able to do so for the moment. They've got the interrupt. Here is the Dragon. Who's going to be able to get it? It's secured with the feast, and Elder is onto Barrage. Now they're just going to get wiped out, but KZ firing away. Wallop the stuns. Impulse jumps in and secures himself another. It's only KZ who remains. Sure, Barrage getting himself the Elder Dragon, but Enclave getting himself the team fight victory, and they've got 2 open inhibitors to crack.
Honestly, it's just a complete wash, even with the Elder buff on Barrage's back pocket. They weren't able to find lethal on anybody, and I want to say, I think Sorex actually ended up stop-watching one of the procs of the Elder, and now KZ, he's just going to get taunted up. I think he's gone. I think
he is gone. Uses the Winds of War, Impulse slides forwards, and down will go KZ. Does get himself a glory shutdown, but with this, Enclave find the win over Barrage, and everything stays real spicy here in the UKLC.
Yes, it does, and with that, Enclave, for the first time in what I believe is about 2 years, find themselves in a playoff position, ignoring when we had the Gauntlet format too. So I suppose ever since we've had the top 4 format, finally finding their way into playoffs. Really good game. It's got to feel really amazing for them, especially as a roster which we highlighted, honestly. It had so much potential. They started off so poorly, but finally in the back end of the split, they managed to secure this win against Barrage. It pushes Barrage down into technically 5th until the Bulldog game. M&M are the other benefiters of this result. M&M now sit 4th because M&M have the head-to-head over Barrage. So Barrage, they kind of need, I don't even know if Barrage can make it into playoffs anymore, even if Bulldog win. I think Barrage might be. We'll get our stats man, Mr. Alex, to double check that. But
we'll break it down. Yeah,
we'll break it down. But the important thing is, Enclave, they have secured 3rd place. That is locked in for them, and now it's all about that fight for 4th place. Amazing stuff from Enclave. It's commiserations to Barrage if it is the case that they've been entirely knocked out. But definitely, hope for Barrage that they can still make it back in, because honestly, the team is definitely very fun to watch.
Yeah, that was an absolutely stellar game, and things stay nice and spicy here. Things stay very spicy here in the UKLC. But for now, I think it's time we take a cool down, and we're going to throw to a break. Max, roll the adverts! Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the UKLC. We're getting ready to talk, actually. We're not getting ready to do anything. Let's have a little chat. And we brought a third person in to join us for this chat. Only Angel, the top player for Enclave. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm happy. We secured third place, I think. So very happy.
Yes, I believe so. Jamada, please confirm.
Yes, so with the win,
confusing.
Enclave are now third. Barrage are out of playoffs. They can no longer make it into playoffs. M&M currently sit fourth. If Bulldog win later tonight, Bulldog take playoffs versus London. So that's the scenario we're in.
It's confusing. It's so confusing. We don't even know what's going on air. So I mean, there's a lot of teams tied up. How were there a lot of nerves coming in today, knowing that this game was really, really important for you?
I mean, yesterday we played like a 50-minute game. Like that game felt really disappointing to lose, if you guys remember. I mean, but we just kind of put all our energies on this. Just be like, if we win, we win. We lose, we lose. You know, we just try our best. And actually, we weren't too nervous. Everyone was actually like completely fine. So it was good.
Good to hear.
Yeah, very good to hear. Finally, I think seeing Enclave actually find some success as an organization since nearly 2018 feels really good, especially just with that in mind, right? Finally getting that top 3 finish, or the top 4 finish, finally getting playoffs. With that said, you're locked into third. That means your opponent should be London.
It is London.
Feel like
should be. Yes.
Should be London. How do you feel when the matchup's going to be best of 3s? Obviously, it's not just going to be that best of 1 anymore. I think it shakes things up because series can always sort of turn into their own mini tournaments in a way. I think it changes the dynamic.
I mean, they've beaten us twice now, so they're 2-0 up against us. But the last game they won against us, we actually got early game lead, but we weren't able to push that early game lead, and then it led to like a 50-minute fiesta. But I think they are a very good team, but I think we are much more ready now. Like we've improved a lot, so I think we'll be ready for them.
It's good to hear. I mean, confidence-wise, you guys are feeling confident. Let's say you make it through London, then let's look on the other side. Resolve, the team at the top. How are you feeling about those guys? Because they are on track to go undefeated. They're playing the bottom team in the next game. So how do you think that affects them going into finals? Do you think maybe they'll be too confident, or do you think they are just really, really strong?
Resolve, I mean, they've got a lot of experience, so I don't think they're going to be complacent or too confident, in my opinion. I mean, that's how they are 13-0 right now, just playing game by game. So I don't know. We are going to focus game by game as well. So we're going to focus on London first before even thinking about Resolve. But, if I feel like they are beatable, though,
take it step by step. That's fair. But yeah, I honestly, I'd love to see a team challenge Resolve. And I think we're on track to have 3 teams who are all capable of doing so. So good luck with your games coming up in the playoffs versus London. And hopefully we'll speak to you soon. All right. See you later.
Yep. Thank you very much for the interview. Have a good one, guys.
You too, Matt.
Thank you.
All right, Jamada, time to start scribbling. What was your favorite play from that game?
It was the Baron fight. Oh, well, there was quite a few Baron fights, so I'll specifically highlight this Baron fight. It's actually off the back of a not so advantageous position for Enclave. You can see right here, it's not a square, never mind. So it's Sykes resetting right now. The rest of Enclave have to walk into Barrage, which again, Barrage with this kind of composition, very much favorable for them. They want to have Enclave walk into them so that they can layer down some CC on some of the divers, keep their backline carries alive, and that's kind of it. But the issue is, when Barrage advanced back through their jungle, there's a ward here, and there's also another ward right here behind it, which are pretty free flank teleport wards, and you're going to see right here, Sykes just teleports, and it just gives them a complete free angle onto KDO and King. But the issue for me is, it seems like Barrage are already split on a call, because it seems like King and KDO want to path up here towards Sykes, the split off member from Enclave, and take him down, but the rest of Barrage are focused on trying to actually start to burn down the Baron. But you can see at the top of your screens, the Baron is practically full HP. So the call already seems split from Barrage. And this is what ends up occurring. We have a 2-man taunt into a whole bunch of CC. KDO is not going to be able to move. You see, even only Angel commits the Gnar onto the Alistar by himself. And King in an attempt to try and salvage something once the Cataclysm goes down, goes in for this Onslaught of Shadows. It's a very nice stopwatch coming in from Thomas Go to avoid so much damage. And on the bottom side of the fight, you can see Impulse's path all the way around to find a flank onto KZ. He opens up with the Exhaust to try and 1v1 him, but unfortunately, the build means that it's actually going to be KZ that wins out on the top side. And in this complete Death Bowl scenario going on in the middle of it all, Barrage actually walked out with 2 of their tanks. Thomas Go was left to the wolves that were Cleanser. And unfortunately, the feast isn't enough for Sykes to drop to Aragon, and King also not able to quite find that rampage onto the mid laner of Enclave. It was a very long and messy fight. Unfortunately for Barrage, they weren't in uniform enough. They weren't keeping Thomas Go behind those tanks, and he was kind of left the Cleanser on the top side. If they could have kept KZ, or at the very least Thomas Go alive, they had at least a wandering shot at that fight. But unfortunately for them, that just wasn't the case.
Yeah, and with that, the battleship has been sunk by Enclave, and they've secured themselves 3rd in the playoff spot. But there are still a few options to go for some other teams. Now, our next game of the day is going to be Demise versus Resolve. So this one maybe has a little less stakes, but obviously for the side of Resolve, they're trying to go undefeated. So they want to drop a game. And speaking of dropping, we're going to have to drop some breaks. See you in a second.